Hello guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Pasters and today we are be taking a look into how to properly build your character so that it can reach the highest potential and how not to overspend for the character and basically hoard your gold and build a character because you can spend a lot of gold building one character, but then you won't have gold to build another one. So that's why I want to take a look into a character and talk about the decisive or the process when I'm deciding what I want to give him or her and how much gold do I want to spend on the character. But first, let me just quickly go into my inventory. As usual, I will open the boxes I've got recently. I will start by the booty boxes and oh, sorry for that. I was probably running some daily missions or something like that because of the heroic quest, and I forgot to clear out my inventory, but I will quickly clear that out so I can I can open those booty boxes. So back to the booty boxes. First one, North Stone of Chaos, that's okay. The second one, Emcron crystals, I don't need them, I don't want them. And the last one is Black Antimatter, which is okay. And I've got the Odin Blessings chest because of the login event, and I will open it up for you. Resist, which is energy attack and ignore defense. I think it's okay for me. I have some characters that will use it. Yeah, they might take advantage of that. I think, for example, my Scarlet Witch is a character that can take advantage of this Odin's blessing. But back to the main topic of this video, how to properly build a character. First and foremost, when you think about the character and your roster entirely, the main thing you need to focus on are your cards. Why? Because your cards and your effects will apply to every single one of your characters. That's why it's very important to have a decent card set. Later in the future, I will make a video on card sets and on every single card, and I will take a look into them and tell you whether they are good or not and what do you want to look for in a card. But right now, I will tell you that cards are very, very important factor in building your character because those effects like ignore defense, cooldown, and all attacks all attack, physical attack and energy attack, those are the main stats you need to have for the character to reach their maybe not full but the decent level and usable. Yeah, they will be usable after reaching a certain amount of stats. So that's why you need to work on your cards at first. Yeah. After that, you want to build up a character. Right now, I am assuming that you have a character at tier 2 and you want to build them up. After that, you spend some gold and biometrics of building a character. you have their gears at 20, you tier 2 them, and you want just to build them up more so they can be used for World Boss Ultimate or something like that. I will build up my Silver Surfer while I will talk about every step, so you will see how it looks and yeah, basically how it looks. So taking a look into my Silver Surfer. The first question you need to ask yourself is, do I want to build him for PvP or PvE? If you want to build them for PvP, you will definitely need to take them to level 70. If you want to build them for PvE, you will need to consider taking them to level 70 or not. Usually, it is a good idea to bring a character to level 70 if they are good enough and you want to use them almost every day for some game modes. In my case, I want to build a Silver Surfer for PvE, but I want to reach a maximum potential with this character. That's why I will get him to level 70 in the future. As you can clearly see, my potential is at almost 65%, so I'm not yet there, but slowly but surely I am getting there. After that, after you answered this question, there are some things you need to know of. First is the fact that there are two types of characters. They are energy attack characters and they are physical attack characters. If you look into the stats for Silver Surfer under his level, there is energy attack stat, physical defense, energy defense, and HP. The energy attack stat determines that Silver Surfer is an energy attacker. For example, the other character, like Spider-Man, has his stat physical attack, which means that he is a physical attacker. That's why whenever you build your character, you need to take into consideration this stat. If you look into the skills and his skills deal energy damage or they have physical, it doesn't matter. The character is still energy attacker even if they have physical skills. The game calculates the stat differently, and because of the typing of a skill, you can die to physical reflect, but you still want to build a character in the energy route. So Uru, ISO 8, everything you want to give them with energy attack. After that, you need to take note of the details page. They are 2, 6, I think 6 main stats that you need to focus on. There is attack speed, critical rate, critical damage, ignore defense, cooldown, and to some extent dodge. So, well, let me tell you the cap of every single stat. For example, attack speed, right now I have 117%. It caps out on 130. Critical rate, 75%. Critical damage, 200%. Ignore defense, 50%. And my ignore defense is yellow, which means I'm capped for that stat. Cooldown, the maximum cooldown is 50%, and dodge, as far as I know, is also 75%. And basically, you want to bring those stats as close to the maximum, to the cap, as you can. And ignore dodge, I will just say you that the maximum ignore dodge you can get is 100%. So looking at this page basically is how you want to build your character. Because when you look into this page, you want to max out their stats, and that determines what type of Uru or what type of ISO 8 set you want to give this character. In the earlier videos, I rolled an ISO 8 set for Silver Surfer, I leveled up his skills, but I will still talk to you about those. First, skills. Usually you want to leave the skill at level 3 because you don't want to spend a lot of gold on skills. If a skill has a buff, like for example this skill has a lot of buffs, you want to level it up to level 6. And this also is a buff or debuff for the enemy, and those are skills you want to level up. For example, the Spider-Man has webbing effect here, but I don't think it went up. But for example here, if we want to level up this skill, only the damage is increasing. That's why usually you don't want to spend gold on those skills because you are wasting gold and the difference is not that high. The level 3 is the level that is not that you don't need to spend a lot of gold to get to level 3, so that's why for a little bit of higher damage level 3 is good enough. As far as the ISO 8 goes, after leveling up skills, you need to think about ISO 8. Why after leveling up skills? Because you know if the character has any buffs or not. If the character, usually, that's not the rule always, but usually there are only 2 viable sets for ISO 8 in the game: Power of Angry Hulk or Overdrive. How I determine what set to roll for the character. First, look into the skills of the character. If a character has a buff that buffs up his attack speed or all speed, usually you want to go for Overdrive. If a character doesn't have that, usually you want to go for Power of Angry Hulk. It's as simple as that because there are only 2 viable sets in the game. They are the best ones, and other sets are usually not that great. The sets contain the 8 ISOs, and you want to give the ISO to the character matching their typing. Not typing, but the form of damage they are dealing. So energy ISO 8s or physical ones. And as far as the ISO goes, I think there are 3 viable routes that you can go for in giving a character ISO 8. You can give them the fully awakened one with all the red stars, and you want to go fully awakened if you go that route. They are the less expensive route, which is giving them just a 6-star ISO 8, and for intermediate players that's usually the case because you have a lot of spare ISO 8s, And that's why I am, for the newer characters, I am giving them the 6-star ones. And the cheapest one, and the one you should start with, is giving a character 4-star ISO 8. I That's why, for example, for my account, every single character in my roster has an ISO 8 set and is usually the 4-star one or higher. I have only several characters that have the awakened ones because they are very, very, very expensive. After that, you want to go for custom gear. If you are going for PvP, I won't be talking about the CTPs. I will just focus on the obelisk right now. If you want to go for PvP, you want to give a character an obelisk with invincibility. I will just quickly. Oh, this is perfect. Invincibility 5 seconds. You want to give a character an obelisk with invincibility if you want to build them for PvP. If you want to build a character for PvE, you want to give them a damage proc. Damage proc goes up to 200. If you get something higher, like for example, there is some weird wording with 290% of something, this is not a damage proc. A damage proc looks like this, and the only difference is this percent stat that goes up to 200. So this is 140, this is again 140, 180, 200. So this is a damage proc, and if you want to build a character for PvP, you want to give them a damage proc. Right now, I am still thinking about what I want to give my Silver Surfer. That's why I won't be giving him anything. You want to go for skills, ISO 8 set, and custom gear first, because everything will give you additional stats for the character. For example, any obelisk have some stats. For example, if I will give my Silver Surfer an obelisk with a damage proc, for example, something like that, he will have 100%, 140% damage proc, but on top of that, he will gain poison resist and ignore defense. And the ignore defense is one of those 6 stats that I told you need to max out, or you want to get as close to the max as you can. So that's why first you want to go through the ISO 8 that will give you a bonus that is here. The skills will determine the ISO 8 set you want to go for, and the custom gear will give you additional stats. The last step for every character is Uru. After getting the gears to 20, you can equip Uru into that gear. And this is the final touch to build a character. First, you want to amplify the Uru slots on every gear. I did it already, but you want to go for 4 amplified slots. Why? Because if you want to go for 5, 5 is very, very expensive to get, and 4 is usually enough because you have a limited amount of gold. After that, you want to equip your character with some Urus. On every gear, you want to give them 2 Urus of the attack type, so 2 physical or energy type Urus. Usually, you want to go again with 4-star Urus as the cheaper ones, or 5-star if you are feeling okay with the character and you want to build them more. 6-star Urus are usually reserved for the characters you want to definitely max out, because again, it is very hard to get them. So that's why you are going for 4 amplified slots, and usually you want to give a character 4 or 5-star Urus. For example, for my Silver Surfer, I've got 2 6-stars, so I've got pretty lucky. But after that, I will be giving him a 5-star ones. You want to equip those in the amplified slots, because the amplification will increase the stat amount you are getting. Let me just quickly equip those ones. And the other slots, you will go back to the page of the details page of the character, and you will look on the stats that you have the least amount of. So for example, I have my critical rate is only 45%. My cooldown is almost cap, so I don't need to focus on that. My ignore defense is also almost capped out. And right now I want to get to as close to the max for critical rate and critical damage. But the last thing I need to take into consideration is almost the first thing I needed to take into consideration is level 70, because after I will get my Silver Surfer to level 70, I can take his gears up to plus 25, which will increase the stats that I have. So he has the attack speed here, and I think he has, again, sorry for that, I think he has the critical rate here, and on the last one he has the ignore defense one. So I will be overcapped for ignore defense, but I cannot do anything about that. And that's why I don't want to give him attack speed, and usually you don't want to give character attack speed on Uru because it's the least valuable one. And that's why, because of those stats, I want to give him as much as critical rate as possible, because the critical damage I will probably get through CTP of energy. So yeah, that's why I will probably give him I think I will give him 8 critical rates and 4 critical damage. If you want to give a character more PvP focused Urus, you will give them 2 of the attacking ones and 2 HPs on every slot, and the last 4 will be probably the missing stats for the character. So, let me know in the comments down below if you want to see any in-depth tutorial on any aspects that I talked about, because there was a lot of knowledge thrown at you in this video. So if you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. And yeah, see you guys next time.